Have you heard of harissa? This is a traditional Tunisian red chili pepper paste. It's so delicious and it's actually one of my favorite condiments. I use it on so many dishes, but today I'm going to be making romaine wraps with harissa and tahini and some other Middle Eastern inspired ingredients. So this is one of my easy one bowl dishes. I've already gone ahead and made some quinoa. I've got some canned chickpeas and black beans that I opened. I've got some shredded carrots here, which I did ahead of time. You can use the machine or do it by hand. Also some chopped parsley and an array of spices. We've got cumin, coriander, black peppercorns, and sea salt. Now, traditionally in lots of places in the Middle East or even in Africa like Tunisia, they would be using couscous for this, but I'm trying to be a little bit gluten-free, so that's why I'm using quinoa here. So I've got about a cup of my quinoa, and then I can add my beans. Then we can add our carrots. These are just raw shredded carrots. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but harissa is actually quite spicy. It's red chili pepper paste, okay? So it's spicy. And to offset the spiciness, that's why I like to serve it with the raw carrots and with the raw romaine, just so it balances it out a little bit. So let me just stir this up, and then I'm gonna season this first. I'm gonna add some cumin in here, coriander, which is such a beautiful, fragrant spice. Some black pepper. You guys know about black pepper, right? Yeah. And sea salt. Now I salt my quinoa when I cook it, so it's already flavored, but the beans weren't salted. So I'm just gonna, add a little bit, not too much. Also, the harissa that I bought was already pre-made and it's got salt in it. So be careful when you're using pre-purchased or pre-made harissa and adding salt, because you could go overboard. So don't add too much. I'm also really going to add some olive oil because this is a little dry. We need to hook it up a little bit. And then we can add our fresh parsley. I'm gonna give it a taste just to make sure we don't need to add anything else. Oop. It's quite good already. Okay, so we're just gonna set this aside and make our harissa tahini. Now my favorite way to make sauces and dressings these days is to just put it in a jar, put the lid on, and shake it up. So that's what we're gonna do with our harissa tahini also. Now here we have our tahini, which is my other favorite condiment. And that's just sesame seeds ground up with a tiny bit of sea salt, and that's it. And we're gonna pour some of that in there. Also gonna add my harissa. I like it very spicy, so I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna add some water to that too. And we're gonna add the juice of half of a lemon. And so the reason I have to add water to it is because when you start to make a sauce out of tahini, it gets really thick, like a thick paste. So you add the water to thin it out, okay? And yeah, that's about it. Let me shake it now. Okie dokie. Nice and spicy. Well, that was it. That's really it. Now you have your sauce. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our wraps out of this. Now, here, I already have some nice and clean romaine leaves. Look how beautiful organic romaine. So I'm gonna cut out the little bottom parts of this and just keep the more tender tops, okay? Okay. So now all you have to do is fill your romaine leaf with the quinoa and chickpea and yumminess. But that's not it. We can't forget our harissa tahini. And another really great thing about stirring it up or emulsifying it in a jar is that it pours really well. And we're gonna top it with some toasted pumpkin seeds. So here you have it. These are your harissa tahini romaine wraps. You see how easy that was to make? Another thing that you could do with this though, if you want to have it as a salad, instead of having to pick it up and eat it with your hands like that, you could also, remember how we cut the bottoms of our romaine leaves off? Chop them up, toss them into your big bowl. We can add some more romaine leaves for that as well though. Give that a toss. And then you can serve that as your salad. And then, just like you did with your wraps, you just top it off with some of the Harissa tahini and your pumpkin seeds. So here's your salad. Or you could have it as wraps. It doesn't really matter, whichever you prefer. But either way, go out and try it. Harissa is so wonderful. You're going to love it too. Mmm. It's very yummy. Let me taste the salad. I'm sure it tastes the same. It's pretty much the same thing, right? But just in case. Mmm. Pretty good salad.